made it back.
All right, new PB incoming.
Yeah, this will be the one. This will be the one. Unless my golem luck is horrendous. We'll find out.
Is there any RNG that you have to like hope for in the beginning of the run?
A little bit, yeah. So we set up that item overflow or ID item ID overflow glitch after the first stage. Um, so what we do is we need to go and we need to recruit 4 wild golems. We can get by with 3, but 4 is ideal. And it's a little bit of RNG as to whether we get them all in one attempt or if we have to like save, reset, and try again.
I see. Okay.
All right. Stood up, got a good stretch in. Next attempt starting now. It says 6 years later right away because we skipped the intro cutscene. It's like similar to March of the Black Queen, we have like a little bit of a personality quiz here, but the difference is the questions and answers this time are all set. It's not random based on like the tarot card that gets drawn. In fact, the tarot theme is kind of non-existent in this game. But the answers to these questions do determine our starting army composition and some of our starting items. So we answer them a certain way to make sure that we have the right numbers of units for setting up the glitches that we need.
I got you. So no more. Do you really use summons at all in this one or no?
No, it's not really a thing in this one. So the nearest equivalent is El Padra, which we picked at the end there. We picked wind as our El Padra element, our starting one. So when a battle lasts long enough, you will get the ability to like do the battle interrupt and cast it, which is like a big area of effect spell that does a lot of damage. Due to how out of control we get in the speedrun, battles never last long enough for us to even use it.
I got you.
But that's like the nearest equivalent. So here, we're all fresh recruits out of the military academy. We're getting our first assignments, our training exercise, all that fun stuff. Here we meet Hugo. He's our tactician. He's kind of the advisor equivalent that Warren kind of played the role of in March of the Black Queen. Although this guy, as far as I know, is not actually a wizard, unlike Warren. We don't ever use him in combat.
You don't use him in combat. You don't have to fight him to start off.
Yeah. He's just immediately like, all right, it's like, you seem like a good commander. I don't need to test you. This is Diomedes. He's a cool character. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see much of him in the run. Right, we don't want these, we don't want that, we don't want that, we want that. So we are immediately going to do our first glitch of the game, which is a character duplication glitch. We're going to take this sorceress and we are going to make a ton of her because we like the sorceress. She does lots of damage. Dang. I got it first try last time. Third try. Okay. Next we are going to do this. Execute. We're going to make some more sorceresses. First try on that time, nice. Okay, so what was happening there was there is a glitch on the character exchange screen where if you cancel out of it and hit confirm on like the first like 2 or 3 frames after canceling out of the exchange, it gives you like a blank unit slot to put the characters into, but that's not intended behavior, so the game doesn't know what to do with it. So you can create duplicate copies of the characters there. And there's a lot of weird behavior associated with the duplicate characters. The game basically sees them all as the same unit, despite there being many of them, which means that they share an experience pool, which means that they share a fatigue pool. They do not share a health pool. The way health is, like their HP is determined, is very strange. Basically, like, it kind of works out such that like only the main one can really take damage that sticks to it. Otherwise, the damage just kind of disappears at the end of each fight. It's very weird. And by the main one, I mean like the original unit.
Yeah, yeah. That is weird. That's a interesting
But the
bug.
It is, and the biggest advantage of it is actually this. When that unit levels up, they all level up. And what I mean by that is you get the stat bonuses as if all of them were separate units, all leveling up, all added together. So 1 level up effectively gives us 5 level ups worth of stat increases.
That's pretty solid.
Oh yeah,
for that to happen.
They certainly did not. I'm placing my movement here to try to avoid an item pickup in the middle of the map here. I don't think I succeeded, but we'll find out. I mean, that dialogue option that we had in that last cutscene where Dio was asking for a duel actually does have an impact on the story later, whether we say yes or no, along with some other choices that we can make later. Basically, hang on, I gotta block a couple of spammers in chat. There we go. Well, 1 spammer in chat. Ah, damn it, I didn't manage to avoid picking up that altar. That's okay. It's like a 1-second time loss to pick it up. But yeah, the story has some branches. Where are you going? Don't aggro that witch. Where are you going? Where are you going? Don't aggro that witch. Where are you going? The autopathing in this game is garbage, in case that's not obvious. But yeah, depending on that dialogue option and another dialogue option later, Dio can actually leave your army and reappear as an enemy boss later in the game. Which is kind of cool. But if you pick different
That is
options, he
cool.
stays in your party and is like a loyal friend and ally.
It's like
Now we have
Mass Effect, but way before Mass Effect was ever a thing.
a little bit, yeah. Like your allies, depending on your choices, actually can say screw you and leave. But of course, they then tend to be replaced by different allies with alignments more conforming to the choices you're making. Although, of course, for the speedrun purposes, we're going to avoid recruiting anyone that we don't absolutely need.
Sure, yeah.
So yeah, story-wise, this is our first exposure to the rebellion. We thought we were just clearing out some bandits, but it turns out these guys were just a distraction for the rebellion, because another cell of the rebellion has gone and kidnapped the crown prince. Or not the crown prince, but one of the princes, the younger prince, Prince Yumel. And Prince Yumel's an important character, because as we find out throughout the story, he and Magnus, our main character here, with the purple hair, were actually childhood friends. So there's a very strong personal connection there. Which also makes for a lot of drama later in the run, or later in the story of the game. Okay, we're going to save here. This is the big RNG part of the run. Oh wait, I'm doing it wrong already. I need to reset. I saved though, so don't worry. So what we're doing here is we're resetting because we want the RNG to be at a good timer for picking up these neutral golem units. Whether or not they appear as RNG based, but we know through trial and error that resetting right before going in and attempting to recruit them gives us better chances of getting golems.
Interesting.
I almost forgot to reset, which would have meant my RNG would be terrible for this, which would have been a waste of time. Yeah, so the golems live here in these mountains. It's a random encounter whether they show up or not. So we're going to send a bunch of units out to go look for them and hopefully recruit them. And hopefully we find at least 3. 4 is ideal, but we can make do with 3. If we get less than that, we need to exit, save, restart, and come back and recruit some more. So here's number 1. Here's number 2. Sometimes you have to give it a couple of tries. It's like a really high chance of being able to recruit them, but they do sometimes say no the first time. I'm gonna have you keep walking, see if we can get lucky here. Think on... Okay, number 3. Let's go. Now, I did have 4 golems last time, but I screwed up the glitch, as you saw. I just need to do better. Gonna do a pause buffer there. One guy I was watching swears by the pause buffer strat there to get a 4th encounter. That's fine. We have 3. 3 is the minimum. We're gonna call it good. So on this stage, we are going to do the setup for the overflow glitch, and you'll see why we needed the golems. Oh, end briefing, thank you. So, similar to March of the Black Queen, some units are larger than others, and thus take up more space in the unit grid, so you can't have too many big units in the same squad. We are going to ignore that rule. So yeah, you can kind of see how the ground shifts a little under them to imply that you can't put more units next to them because they're too big. So we're just gonna do that. The big dog there in that beast tamer unit also counts as a large unit. So let's do our glitch here. We're going to send out do that while we do this. Monica. Yeah, the names are random and also funny sometimes. Michelle. Okay, so Monica is our witch. That's who we need for this. Okay. So, normally we would not be able to add these large... There's a limit to how many of these large units you can have in one squad. 2 is usually the limit. We're going to make these large units take up 1 square each by glitching out this soldier as we remove it. Yeah, so they should not be able to do that, standing that close together. We're going to keep doing that. We're also not supposed to be able to just throw the soldier into the void here. I think they just didn't account for the fact that we have an analog stick on this controller. So we can hit 2 directions at once. Alright. So the witch's weight limits are now fully glitched out because she is not supposed to have that many large units in her squad. That's not normally possible. So that's the setup for our item overflow glitch later. We'll come back to her in a stage. But first we gotta get through this stage. Hopefully we don't re-engage that cleric. She should run away from us here. That looks like a good angle. Yeah, good. Yeah, so when you kill a unit's leader, they will remain on the overworld map there, but they will flee from you if they're leaderless, which is what we wanted there. We didn't want to have to re-engage that same unit and fight it a second time. We're going to come capture this city so that we can rescue the prince. Now, we're not supposed to necessarily know that the prince is here. You're supposed to kind of trial and error capture all the nearby towns to figure out where the prince is being held. But, we know, thanks to knowing the game, that this is the city where the prince is being held. They keep mashing A too hard there. I'm wasting frames, precious frames. Yeah, unfortunately we do have battle animations turned off because they're slow, but I assure you, there's some good ones in this game.
Gotta do it for the run.
Yep, gotta save time. Yep, so here we found the prince. His bodyguards are here now. The little generic knight guy there that's kneeling is supposed to be from our army, representing our unit that liberated the town. This guy Raid is a jerk, and he's like, ah, damn rebels deserve to die, go kill all of them. And that includes the old man hiding there in the corner who was supposed to be watching the prince. Not stealthy enough. Raid's a dick. He also swears a lot. He's got potty mouth. On the bright side, we do get to kill him later. Okay. We're going to come here, over the mountains. Where are you going? Come on, you. Freaking bad pathing. Where are you going? Alright. She figured it out, she figured it out. That is definitely one of the skill checks, like one of the opportunities to save or lose time in this game is having good unit movement, because if it's not exactly perfect, they will kind of just do their own thing. They will take what they think is the best path to where they're trying to go, and it very rarely is. One cool thing about this game compared to March of the Black Queen is the angle at which your units engage on the overworld affects how the unit layouts are on the battle. So like we hit him from the side, so this is a weird angle for him. Like I don't think he's a beast tamer, he's not normally in the back row. But we hit him from the side, so he's at a weird angle, which can be advantageous when you're trying to just blast down a specific unit. If you're playing this normally, most of the time you'd probably put like your casters and your clerics and stuff in the back row to protect them. So, which means that if you get hit from behind, they'd be vulnerable, because then they'd be in the front row instead by the way that system works.
That is a cool system. I'm trying to think. There was another game I played that was similar to that. Maybe it was one of the Final Fantasy games or something like that, where if they approached you from behind, they got like surprise.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I know some strategy and tactics games do similar stuff. Yeah, Raid's like, who told you to take this guy alive? I told you to kill him. We're like, but don't you want information? Like, he might know useful things. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna kick this guy while he's down. we try to listen to the prince. Like, the prince is like telling him to stop, so we're like, hey, the prince doesn't want you to just execute this guy in cold blood in front of him. Can you maybe not? And Ray's like, nah, I'm just gonna do it anyway. Because I'm a jerk. Luckily, Debonair appears. Because they're helping the rebellion.
Like the trope that like whenever there's a rebellion, the rebels are always like the good guys.
Yeah. It's such a common thing in fantasy. It's more exciting. Like, a story's always more exciting when you're cheering for the underdogs, and you know, rebels are typically a good underdog.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
What's up?
Howdy doody, Steve.
You, Twitch or YouTube?
I am on Twitch currently. I did finally figure out how to stream to Twitch properly. Like, I had to mess with a bunch of settings to get it to work for when I did the GDQ hotfix for Duck Detective. You can also watch in Discord if you prefer.
I am, but I can, pop the Twitch stream open to give you the view.
Well, I appreciate it, but yeah, I'm not in this to be a Twitch streamer. It's just a convenient way to, verify that I'm doing this live. It's not like pre-recorded, stitched together segments or anything, which is a thing that people do.
I
I
bet.
remember there was like a big scandal with one of the Pokemon speedrunners, I think.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Unfortunately, I did not tell OBS to record this, so if I do get a PB, I'll also have to link to the Twitch VOD. But another reason why it's good to be live streaming.
Yeah, you got a backup.
Yeah. I do like starting with 2 gold splits, though. That's nice to see. Hopefully I don't screw up this glitch on this next stage. Alright, I am going to save so I can get another attempt at it if I do screw it up. This gal was from the opening cutscene where we were getting our first assignments and stuff. She's been assigned to our battalion. She's got a bunch of story and stuff later throughout the run, but we're not going to get to see it.
Because we're bullies who pretend they're dead.
Yeah, so yeah, haven't quite gotten to show Kevin that part yet, but in order to save time later throughout the run, we fire Dio and Leia so that we skip their story cutscenes to save time. And when you do that, when you remove them from your army that way, the game treats them as if they're dead. So that's fun.
That is fun.
Because that's another fun thing about this game. It does have permadeath if you're not careful. Kind of like the old Fire Emblems. Okay. Let's not screw this up this time. to... No, do this the other way. Okay, I'm going to put this archer here, this Valkyrie here. Okay, good. We have the items we need. So yeah, you see Monica there has a bunch of items in her inventory that, whereas nobody else has anything, basically, because we just glitched those items into existence in her inventory. We're going to take those, the useful ones. There we go.
What said marching bacon?
Marching baton and the figurine of Sleipnir. Let me make sure I'm not screwing anything else up here. Okay. We can now move Garnet. So the figurine of Sleipnir increases the overworld movement speed here. So you'll notice our sorceress unit here now zips along a lot faster than she was before. And I forget what the marching baton does. I have it in here somewhere. But yeah, you'll see already she's moving faster than she used to. So you can see how that's useful for a speedrun.
You need to do a slow run.
I believe that's just
As long as possible.
that's just a glitchless full stages run. Some people do run this game glitchless. It takes like 7 hours.
I believe it.
Alright. Not ideal to re-engage the wizard, but whatever. We'll just murder him. So, aside from just generally being good, another reason why we do the duplicate sorceresses, and it's not going to be as obvious with the attack animations turned off, but spellcasters, based on their alignment and like elemental compatibility, can sometimes team up to cast a spell together that's stronger than if one that was just doing their attack on their own lonesome. We're trying to avoid this Valkyrie. Come on. Why aren't we? Yeah, there we go. We're trying to dodge the Valkyrie. There we go. Jesus, what a weird path that they took. But we still managed to avoid the fight and save a few seconds. Yeah, like I said, it's more obvious when that happens, when animations are turned on, but you might be able to tell it if it happens here, or any of the Sorceress squad's future fights, if they both have the like lightning bolt come up over their head at the exact same time. Like that. The two in the back row both cast their spell together that time, which did more damage than if they had just each done it individually, which speeds up the fight when that happens. So that's another reason we want to use Sorceresses here, because they can combine their spells like that. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit more of another like slightly RNG dependent thing here. Let me hit my split. Nice. So now we need to come back to this stage and recruit a neutral Hawkman that we are later going to create copies of. Because the Hawkmen have the flying movement type, so they can fly over terrain and not lose speed.
Griffin Plus.
I think they're not as good as the Griffin for that, because they don't also have the fastest movement speed. But we're doing the same thing here. We do it with the golems, where we save and then we reset the console to get better RNG. Yeah, the Griffins are cooler in my opinion, but unfortunately we don't get any Griffins in this game.
Bummer.
Yeah. You can recruit a bunch of different kinds of dragons, but we don't need them for the speedrun, so we don't. Which one's our Valkyrie? This gal. Okay, so with the RNG manip that we did there by resetting the console, our Valkyrie should encounter a Hawkman somewhere around that city in the like right side of the mini-map there before crossing the river. It'll be any time between now and the time she hits the bridge. The RNG comes in with like how soon you hit the Hawkman and also whether the Hawkman joins you on the first attempt. Here he is. Unfortunately, the Hawkman's odds of joining us aren't as good as the Golems, so we need to knock him down to about half health. He was not persuaded. He fled. Alright, we have to try again. This is, yeah, like I said, this is another one of the RNG moments of the game. The Golems and the Hawkman recruiting. We only need one Hawkman, thankfully. But...
Well, you're gonna have 5.
Yeah, we're gonna have more, but we only need to recruit one. Whereas, in order to set up the item ID overflow glitch, we need 4 legitimate golems. We can't use dupes of the golem. So yeah, we only need to recruit one Hawkman, but the odds of him joining us are lower than the golems. He's not as interested in hanging out with us. We're not cool enough for him. Okay. And yeah, we just have to do this until we get the Hawkman. We want to try to persuade him once he's around half health, because that doubles our odds of him joining us. Normally the base rate is around 30% of him saying yes when we ask him. That jumps up to around 60% once he is at half health or lower. But, you know, the other 40% of the time, he runs away. So, here he is again. Let's see what we can get. Okay, second try, not too bad.
Not too shabby.
Not bad at all. Alright, I'm going to exit stage, save, because I don't want to have to do that again. Okay. We're going to see a nice little cutscene here, a little flashback. So what we're seeing there is the two kids there are a young Prince Yumel and a young Magnus, who are hanging out when a man came in and attempted to assassinate Prince Yumel. The man who ran in and stopped him was Ankeseth, Magnus's father. However, the problem here arises is that the assassin, the attempted assassin, was actually a nobleman. And due to court intrigue and politics, Ankeseth is forced to stay quiet about why he killed the nobleman. So he's kind of ostracized from court because he killed a man, but, you know, the king basically pardoned him, so he's not, like, punished or exiled or anything, but he is socially ostracized because nobody understands the reason why things played out like that. Like, why did he get away with killing a nobleman? We don't understand. He's a murderer. We're scared of him. We don't like him. We're gonna ostracize him. And Magnus also never understood why he kept quiet about it instead of just telling the truth that he did it to save Yumel's life. Later in the game, we will get to meet up with our daddy, and he will tell us why he never told the truth. here Dio's like, wait, why are you so like friendly, like familiar with the prince? Like, you act like you know him. And Magnus is like, yeah, I do know him. We were friends as kids. And Dio's like, wait, what? What the hell? You knew the prince? And we're just not going to explain anything further at this point, because drama. So on this stage, it's a little bit. So it's supposed to be an escort mission. Prince Yumel's on his way to go do some stuff. We're just gonna ignore that, and we're gonna kill the people who would be getting in his way to save time. All right, we are going to do the second half of our item overflow glitch here. Okay. So now we should have spawned a manual of warfare in Monica's inventory. Yep, there it is, that squirrel-looking thing. No, not exchange characters, exchange items. We're going to give this to Magnus. The manual of warfare increases the experience you gain from each fight, so you can level up faster, which is very helpful. And we're going to do that again. We're going to spawn another one of those, because the game is hella glitched out from all the shenanigans that we've pulled so far. So Monica has another one of those scrolls now out of thin air. And we're going to give that to our sorceress murder squad here, so that they level up faster. Which I'm sure is obvious why that's useful. Alright. So we are going to make a stop here. Then we're going to go here. We're going to go here. So we're moving the way we are here, so that we can kill all the units that Prince Yumel would normally be fighting. You can see he's kind of like walking around the road back there. Now, we're not worried about him dying. Like, we do lose the mission if he dies, but we're not worried about him dying, because he's got 4 Black Knights, which is like a tier 3 promoted unit guarding him. The problem is that they're slow. It's faster if we just kill everyone in his way for him. Alright, unfortunately we didn't kill the leader there, so these guys are still going to be obnoxious. Yeah, he's got a bum rush at the prince, or at us maybe. We might have aggroed him onto us, which is also fine. Another fun benefit that I didn't explain of having duped units, because we have some duped sorceresses back with our leader Magnus guarding our home base, all of the sorceresses, all of the duped sorceresses are gaining the benefits of health regen as if they were in a home base. So they basically fully restore their health between each fight. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's so much different than the March of the Black Queen run.
Oh, 3 of them combined their lightning there. That was really good. Yeah, like the March of the Black Queen run is fun because you're kind of constantly on like a knife's edge of like, do I have the resources I need to survive this next fight? Whereas in this game, you never really need to worry about dying. You need to worry about optimizing for speed. So you're saying, what encounters can I avoid? What movement paths can I take to avoid optional encounters? Optimizing like menu movements, setting up glitches faster, finding new setups that are faster. Like those are how this speedrun goes. It's definitely a very different vibe. So I think this is... No, this is... there's like one more stage a little further up. I want to say stage 7 or 8. That... Once we get past stage 7 or 8, there is like no longer any chance of us dying in combat. We just get too powerful. Until then, it can technically happen if we really screw up. So what I'm going to try to do here, I'm going to try to approach this city in such a way as to hit from behind and also to avoid... I think there's another unit. Yeah, that wizard there. I don't want to aggro that second wizard. you see, we hit him from behind, so their formation's going to be goofy here. The wizard's going to be in front, whereas normally his griffin and his dog should have been in front. That's one of the advantages of hitting them from behind. So now he's going to blast him with lightning. Killing the squad leader in a boss fight instantly ends the fight, which is really nice for us when it comes to saving time. Congratulations. Here, Magnus and Yum will finally get to talk for the first time since childhood. Yumel's a little upset because Magnus never came back to see him after he graduated from the military academy. Yumel's also realizing that he's been incredibly sheltered his whole life. He did not realize that the peasantry and the middle class were in such dire straits that they're rebelling. He had no idea. Magnus is also having a little bit of a crisis of morals, where he's like, yeah, I don't know what's right or wrong anymore. Yumel does want to bring change to the kingdom. He also wants Magnus to be with him. There is obviously some very intentional romantic subtext there, and I am here for it. So, this next stage. This stage is called Zenobian Border, because it's right along the border with the kingdom from the first game. As such, we get to run into Debonair again. This is also a stage where we're going to do another fun glitch. We are going to set up for an item duplication glitch. We are also going to discharge Dio. Wait, yes. Yes.
It's a shame what happened to him.
Yeah. We'll never know what happened to him. Or Leia. Goodbye. Okay. So, item time. That doesn't sound right. Did I need to do this before I entered the stage? Hope I didn't screw this up too bad. I might have. Oh no. Alright. I'm gonna try to wing this. No, hang on. It's not the screen I want. Not use. Can I? No, I know what I want to do, I think. Okay. Something's not right here, and I'm not sure what.
My food's about to show up, and I gotta switch the laundry and stuff, so I'm gonna hop off the call, but I'll keep the switch running, the stream running on Twitch.
Okay, appreciate it. I'm trying to figure out what I screwed up here, so this might take a minute.
All good. Talk to you later, man.
Later. Gonna lose some time here trying to figure out my mistake, but it is what it is.
What isn't working?
I'm trying to do my item duplication setup, and I'm not 100% sure where I went wrong on it. I think I might have needed to do it before I entered the stage. Whatever. I think I can make up for this later. Ow. Don't normally get this fight. It's annoying. Alright. I got it. I figured out what I can fix here. So I lost a little bit of my time due to waffling, but I can do this item dupe glitch once this stage is complete. In fact, that's when I have it in my notes to do it. I just misread it, so I really just wasted a bunch of time there for nothing.
I mean, that's kind of good if you're, as long as your notes are right.
Yeah, the notes are correct. I just misread them, and I tried to do it sooner than I needed to.
Apparently sooner than you're able to.
Yeah. So, not the end of the world, but I did lose time because of my own bad reading of my notes. Unforced error, basically. Alright. Once we get through these cutscenes, I do the item glitch on the overworld map. Okay. Now I want to go to the organized screen. Gonna sort things out. Going to give this champion statuette to Magnus in his bottom unit slot. Going to remove this soldier. I'm going to add our Hawkman. I'm going to dupe the Hawkman. Dang it. I had it first try once this run, and it was glorious. There we go. Alright. Okay. Beastmaster. I don't think it matters which one does it. Doo-doo-doo. Right. Okay. It's gonna make a ton of Hawkmen. We're going to get rid of our glitch unit here. Okay. Okay, his statuettes did get duped, so we did do that correctly. Nice. Let me make sure these are correct. No, not form. We have Valk. We have that. Now this should have another hawk in it. Alright. We need another hawk. Come on. Got it. Cool. We are set. We can continue. Raid already knows we're gonna fight later in the game. It's like, look at his eyes. Let's get through this. Dispatch our sorceresses. Right about here. Right about here. I think we'll be able to make up for some of that time that I waffled on. Killing the Dragoon and their Dragon there is actually really good, because there's no risk of re-engaging them now. Why are you targeting the back row? We have attack leader on. Attack the leader. Alright, cool. Nice. We did make up some of the time we lost. Saying I can't do it there during that dialogue choice is what gives us the ability to recruit Saradin later. And we have officially joined the rebels. Huzzah. Well, now we've officially joined, because Frederick accepts us here. Okay. Nothing fancy at this one, just want to avoid some unnecessary combat, if we can. And Hugo's saying all along, he knew my father, he knew that me and Prince Yulma were friends. He knew things were going to turn out like this. He's a smart guy.
What a smarty.
It's almost like he's our tactician or something. Okay. Here.
Hugo, more like Hugo.
No kidding. Alright. Alright, and that Valkyrie gave up. Very nice. Love to see it. Nice. One shot at him. Love it when the sorcerers
Those
team
ones
up
where
like
it's
that.
optional is always nice.
Yeah. It's like you never quite know how the combat's gonna go, but it's always nice when they do that. And here's where we start seeing ogres. Nope. Do not repeat the briefing. That is the opposite of what I want. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move here. Move here. Move here. I think we can handle this. We have two sorceresses here to protect Magnus. He's in the back row. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we're fine, we're fine. Yeah, he's gonna run away now, so we're fine. Yeah, we don't really care about that. What? Why are you going to the road? Just go. Straight line it. Come on. Jesus. Pathing in this is ridiculous. Okay, pretty quick fight. What's funny is, due to us skipping all those other encounters, we didn't really see any ogres this time around, even though we're talking as if we had. 6, 15, or 21, those are the dates we want. Ah, I just missed it. I'm so bad at this. I need to, like, write some notes for myself.
Figure out a pattern, yeah.
Perfect. Then we'll just hang out until nightfall for the secret shop. It needs to be 18 o'clock. I like how the no option is 50,000. Hell no. Nah, we want the meteor tone. We want that. I'm gonna do a little safety save here in case I screw anything up. Okay. Now we want to promote our sorceress to a witch. Give her the Meteor Strike book. Okay, we are going to do some unit setup here. We want this and this. Change. This is what I want. Okay. We're going to give the Hawkman the Flame Flail. Now it's time to start leveling up those Hawkmen. Get them up to speed. Dispatch this Garnet. We want to dispatch this Garnet. We want to give the items from one Garnet to the other Garnet. Target leader, please. So having 2 Meteor Strikes in the party will let the Hawkmen level up in safety, pretty much. With how high level the witches are, they should go first in almost every encounter. And now the Hawks get to power level.
Hooray! It's just what I wanted.
Stupidly strong Hawkmen.
How did you know?
My favorite. Overpowered units. Yeah, this is one thing I'm doing a lot better than on my last attempt. You were there. Yeah, you remember I had to restart this stage because I did things wrong and my people were dying.
Oh, that's... I think I do remember that, yeah.
Luckily I'd had a safety save, but I did lose probably a good like 5-6 minutes due to that. pace for a very good PB. As long as I don't screw anything up in the next few stages. Oh man, who'd have thought that the church would ever lie to people about what demons are and how they're summoned? How crazy. In a fantasy RPG? Impossible. Alright, let's nuke them, ladies. Kablammers.
I'm gonna do what Kevin did, because my food's here now too.
Nice.
Switch open, and I think we're gonna play some World of Warcraft after I get back.
Cool. Well, thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. Catch you next time.
Yeah. I don't feel like I actually saved 18 minutes there, but you know. I think I just forgot to hit my split timer. I don't know. Maybe I did really lose that much time because I screwed things up. Saved 8 minutes apparently. Which actually, if I did have to reset on my last attempt, yeah, I can say I would have saved 8 minutes there. Alright, we got a safety save here, because it's the end of a chapter. Alright. Time for Baldwin's evil plans to start to go into motion, even more than they already have. Lore drop for those who are not familiar. The woman here, her name is Mary. It turns out that she is, unbeknownst to her, because she was raised as an orphan, she doesn't realize this, but she is actually the daughter of Rashidi, the evil sorcerer from the first game. He was like the second to last boss. She doesn't know that, unbeknownst to her. And also, she's not a bad person. Just to get that out of the way. Alignment is not transmitted genetically. But she is an unfortunate pawn in the events of this game, as a result of her bloodline. So here we are, War Council for the Rebels, figuring out our next moves. We've got Destin with the headband over there, our male player character from the first game, next to Saradin, the Warlock, optional recruitable character from the first game. And then we got Hugo and a generic Valkyrie. This Zevik guy with the beard is not happy with how the rebellion is going. He thinks that we need to be doing more. He thinks we need to be acting more aggressively. Okay. Now there's a little bit more. I think this is actually the last bit of RNG that affects the run on this stage. There's a couple of item drops we can get on this stage that will speed things up if they drop. Skip the briefing. What are we doing? One is not a big deal if it doesn't drop. One is a big deal if it doesn't drop. So let's hope they both drop. The items in question are upgrade materials, so that we can promote our Hawkman to a Raven. That's the name of the unit. Oh, and I never actually explained what the Marching Baton does. Right, so the Marching Baton is an item that reduces fatigue buildup. Fatigue is a mechanic in this game added from the last game. Basically, a unit can only move so far across the field before they get tired and have to camp and rest, or you can have them rest in a town for the same effect. Okay, we want to fight this guy. This guy can drop one of the items we want. Okay, let's see if we got the armament. We did. Alright, so that's one thing we can skip, picking up on a future event. Next, there's a Black Knight there. Yeah, him. We need to kill the Black Knight, and we need him to drop an item called a Balder Axe. If he doesn't, it's going to be a big time loss for us. Not an unmanageable situation, but it will be a time loss. Because the next opportunity for us to get the Balder Axe isn't for 2 more stages, and ideally we want it now. Let's see if he gives it to us. I keep forgetting that I can mash to speed that up. Okay, we got it. Good. That was like best case scenario for this stage. It could not have gone better. Love to see it. And we're just going to outrun that little samurai, that sword master there, and go right to the boss. Unless our witch is going to be real dumb here for some reason. What the heck? Started backtracking on the path for some reason. That was close. Alright. Gonna fight this ninja. Okay, so the backdrop for this mission is we actually got ambushed on our way to our next mission, and this is another cell of the rebellion that disagrees with how Frederick runs things. So, they tried to stop us. And failed, because we're the protagonists. Alright, so because this stage was ideal, we can go ahead and promote our guys immediately. Which will save us some time on our next split, which is great. I forgot there's a lot of cutscenes too. Dang. Okay, so here Prince Yumel has been made the general of the army of the Central Region. Alcaseth as his lieutenant and bodyguard. As a reminder, Alcaseth is our dad. This is Alcaseth and Yumel finding out for the first time that we have joined the rebellion, and they're not super happy about it. Yumel's blaming himself. He's like, if I wasn't so weak, Magnus wouldn't have turned against us. He would have joined us instead. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and do our Raven upgrade. We're not going to worry about Yumel's angst right now. Now I think about the duped character glitch. Upgrading one of them upgrades all of them. Nope, we don't want to go back in. We want to give him a different weapon, that's all. Instead of the Balder Axe, we want him to have the Flame Flail. And now we're going to... Which is it? 2 Witch, 3 Raven. Gonna reorganize our units a little bit here. The Ravens should be strong enough to stand on their own now. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, this formation's fine. And we're going to put these witches in with Magnus. Magnus is going to be our home guard going forward. He already has been, but he's especially going to be going forward. I'm just going to go ahead and make this our main unit there. Okay, I think we're set. But with Magnus being our base guarding unit, and with a lot of future maps having enemy units that bum rush our base, we want Magnus to be sitting there with 4 witches with meteor strike tomes. As you may have seen, the meteor strike spell is stupid powerful. Full AoE on the enemy unit. Having 4 of those in one squad is nuts. It is, in fact, outrageous. Ziegler is our Raven's name? Jeez. Alright. Fly here. Fly here. Fly here. Okay. And yes, this map will look familiar. We do repeat some maps in this game, but with different scenarios on them. So yeah, here's what I mean by enemies bum rushing Magnus. You can see that they are, and we're just gonna wipe them out. Now, under ideal circumstances, we can actually get to the boss, I think, before this knight reaches us, but these are not ideal circumstances. I definitely did not do the movement quite right for that. It's very tricky. But you can see that our Raven really does zip across the map thanks to flying and the statue of Sleipnir. Yeah, if we can avoid this fight, it's always good because of the dialogue there, making it even longer. But we also two-shot him, so it's not the end of the world if we do get this fight. What you just saw there was that Raven that's approaching Magnus use an item to reduce his fatigue so that he can keep running at us without having to stop to camp. The AI does do stuff like that, which is kind of smart and kind of neat. Unfortunately, the AI is not always smart in other regards, but, you know. Oh, that was a pretty solid crit. So yeah, unlike our witches, the ravens are melee units, so hitting bosses from favorable angles will make a difference in how fast we can kill them. Alright. Love seeing the gold splits. Yeah, so we're basically at the point in the game now where we are not very likely to die at this point, unless we really screw up. Our main concerns in terms of speed are good movement to avoid unnecessary encounters, and to hit bosses from favorable angles where necessary. That said, on this stage we are just going to charge the boss head on. End the briefing. My notes for this stage literally just say, dispatch all ravens caw-caw. Because this is a real easy one. We want to go here, and then right to the base. I'm pulling up the mini-map just to make sure that I don't run into anything I don't want to run into. Oh yeah, I think we're golden. Did not want the Book of Flame. That's a 1 second time loss. Don't need that pickup. Yeah, now we gotta fight Gerald. These guys are cool. They're like a melee brawler unit. We don't use any of them in the speedrun, but you can recruit them in the main game. And they're pretty rad. Oh no, it's our dad! We're gonna fight our dad! How dramatic. Basically, Ankaseth is trying to de-escalate, and Raid is just constantly overruling him and making things worse. And here, he finds out for certain that Magnus, his son, is leading the units against him on this front. Don't worry, we don't kill Ankaseth here, but we do want him to not fight. There we go. Good outcome. Nice. Alright. Gonna have a little chat with our dear old dad. He's like, you do realize that you're fighting against your buddy the prince, right? Like, that's who you're fighting against right now? Leaves us to stew on that. Now, a choice is going to come up in a stage or two where we can choose to try to make peace with Prince Yumel's battalion, and doing so actually does make Ankaseth recruitable. We're not going to do that. It's faster to just murder him. But that is a cool divergence in the storyline up here. So we can kind of de-escalate with this section of the kingdom at least. We still have to keep fighting in other areas, of course. There's still a lot of game left. And Prince Yumel, you know, being a prince of the kingdom we're rebelling against, will still stay hostile to us. And here's a mysterious old crone. She's gonna mess with Mary because of Mary's bloodline. Previously mentioned, Rashidi's daughter. Going to awaken her sleeping power. Mary's still not evil, though, even after this. Don't worry. We want to go to Mount Ithaca, which is this one. So yeah, there's a bunch of different points where you can split on what stage you go to. Making certain choices can cut off some stages and scenarios completely, so you never see them. But there is a way to see, like, there is a path that you can follow where you can play every stage, I think. So there is like an all stages run that's possible here. Okay. Right, so here's where we gotta decide that we are going to keep following our orders and fight against Evil's division. Oh no, that decision comes a little later. That's right. This is just the point where they're delivering a message that they want to make peace with us. That's right. Okay. Now, avoiding some of the optional encounters on this stage can get tricky, so I'm going to try though, because you know, gotta go fast. We want to go to here to start. We should be able to avoid this wizard. Yeah. Too fast for him. Okay. Now we're gonna do a little cutover up here once we hit the river to go around that guy standing in the road. Nice. And we finally get to fight Raid, that jerk. Caw, mother flipper. Let's get him. Nice. A crit there would have been pretty clutch, but still a pretty good fight. They didn't get an opportunity to do anything, which is perfect. And we do get Raid's cool looking sword, but unfortunately we don't need it. Here, Saradin will offer to join us, and we are going to say yes. So as we mentioned earlier in the stream, if we don't have any of the Zenobians with us, and we're on the bad ending path, they will fight us later, and that's like a 10-minute long stage. We don't want to have to play that stage. We welcome you, Saradin. It is also possible to recruit Aisha if you do the right stages and you've got a good alignment, which is nice. She's a friendly face from the other speedrun. Alright, this is another one where it's tricky to avoid an optional encounter. I'm going to try, going to see how it plays out. Decent chance we have to have a couple of fights here that we don't want. But with the right placement, we should be able to just barely dodge the optional encounter. Okay, we want to place our flag right, like on this pixel, I think. A little higher up, maybe? Yeah, like right about here. If I hit that in the right spot, we'll weave between all these flying ravens that are coming at us and hawkmen. Nah, just a little bit too far south, dang it. It needs to be like 2 pixels higher. I was close though, almost had it. That's alright. It's not like that's a time loss compared to my last run at least, because I had the same thing happen there. It just needs to be like a couple of pixels higher and we could have avoided that fight. I don't think there's a way to go fast enough to avoid this one though. Which is fine, we're just going to meteor strike them. Nice. 2-shot him. Love it. Okay. Father. Some legitimate philosophy here. And here's a little bit of a lore drop. Turns out the king is a little insane, and he's actually the one who ordered the assassination of Prince Yumel when he was a child. He was paranoid. He thought that he wasn't his kid. He wanted him dead. He later regretted ordering the assassination, which is why Ankaseth wasn't punished for saving Yumel. We will follow our orders and fight Ankaseth. Anyway. When we later see the king, you will see him referred to as King Promus the Mad. Or Procus the Mad. For that reason. No, I don't want to watch any of this. Shoot, I wasn't paying attention. I was getting into story time. Dang. I'm losing seconds here. Oh no. I gotta make that up. I gotta mash better to make those seconds back up. Okay, we want this here. This here. I think that'll let us avoid these encounters. Let's find out, shall we? No, don't fight that. Ow. Don't fight Sephora. Dang it. Time loss. What did I screw up there? I messed up the movement. But like, in what way? think I need to be further over like on the peninsula there, because yeah, he's like trying to follow the path still, which I don't want. I want that. And the reason you're seeing ones on those enemy units down there is because they are part of what's called a legion. That is a mechanic in this game where you can kind of like group multiple units together into like one mega squad, and they will all move together in formation across the world map. There's no real advantage to doing it, it just kind of looks cool, so we are not going to use that at all during the run. Even in a casual run, most people don't use the legion mechanic. It doesn't really do anything for you. Alright, unfortunately we're going to lose time on the split because of that encounter that we had. I think there's some opportunities to make it back up later still, though. Ooh, especially if we get a crit on him right out of the gate, hell yeah. That was a good timed crit. Now, Alcaseth is trying to say here to take Yumel with us and basically save the kingdom via the rebellion, but this guy, Baldwin, has other plans. He needs the prince. Baldwin is part of the Calaginous Order, which is a militant branch of the Holy Lotus Empire. Some background lore there. The Holy Lotus Empire has basically turned this kingdom, Palatinia, into a vassal state, and the Holy Lotus Empire is interested in conquering the world. To do that, the Calaginous Order, of which Baldwin there is a member, is looking for paths to the powers of the gods. And they need Yumel for that. Got a lot of cutscene here to get through. There's King Procus. The other blondie there is Yuval's older brother. Here's some more lackeys of the Holy Lotus Empire, Richard the Dragonheart along with Baldwin, and a couple of generics. He's basically saying, hey, it's like we let you guys have a pretty long leash before, no more. We are now in charge of your kingdom, and we're going to stamp out this rebellion by any means necessary. The prince there is not happy about it, but nothing he can do about it. He's not that guy. So part of the plan for the rebellion at this point is to try to get support from the Eastern Orthodox Church, they still practice the old religion instead of the new religion enforced by the Holy Lotus Empire. So we figure they might be favorable to our cause and to fighting against the Holy Lotus Empire. Now hopefully this should be a quick one. We want to move about here, about here, about there. Yep, managed to avoid a big old squad there, which is nice. Didn't need that item, but whatever. My god, this guy's name is Brat. That's funny. Yeah, we're now at the point where one meteor strike is sufficient for these fights. Love that for us. Looking at our minimap there. Alright, looks like our movement was good and we didn't have any unnecessary encounters. I love the way they spell her name here. Eugene. The letter U, Jeanne. Oh, good crit, good crit, good crit. Nice. Hey, it's the church. That guy there, the priest with the staff, is the guy who did our little induction ceremony slash fortune telling thing at the start of the run. So, the infernal aura that was caused by the Knights of the Calvinist Order spreading that like evil fruit around is spreading around, basically infusing people with demonic power. Not great for us. This is an easy one. We're just going to beeline right to the enemy base. What weird path is he gonna take today? Let's find out. The enemy will end up taking a neutral town. That's fine. We don't need it. Here we are. Can we get there before Magnus has to do any fights? I don't think so. Even with how fast we are. We might be able to. If we end this fight quickly, then things will be perfect. Look at this guy. Look at his stance. Two-shot. I like that he's just the paladin unit standing next to him, but without a shield. And he teleports away, because the Knights of the Caledon's Order can just do that, apparently. Yumel's a tad upset. Baldwin is going to encourage him to take an iron grip on things. Why are they so interested in Yumel being in charge of things and being powerful? Also, how is he able to tell that Mary has some weird power within her? Find out next time on Ogre Battle Z. Mary's got a thing for Yumel. Once again, gonna do my best to hit the exact right movement waypoints on this to avoid unnecessary encounters. Which is really what a lot of the stages in the second half of the game are all about. Just having good pathing. Ah! Now this here is, if I recall correctly, a childhood friend of Leia, who we discharged earlier. They're going to talk as if Leia is dead, but it's still going to be faster than if Leia was here to talk to her and have their reunion. She's also recruitable if Leia's in your party still. Her class is Siren, which is a pretty strong spellcaster, but we don't need her. All we need is our ravens and our witches. We want to go right about here. Right about here. I think that'll do. That unit of ravens can't catch us because we have the statue of Sleipnir, so we're faster than they are. That paladin there is who I'm worried about dodging. mountain should slow him down. And I think we're good. Alright. Didn't quite finish the movement correctly, but we avoided the extra encounters, so that's pretty good. This is one of Raid's friends from earlier in the game with the cool blue axe. We're gonna kill him and take it. We don't need it, but we're gonna get it for beating him. Nice. Nice. Three and a half seconds slower than the last time I ran that stage. Bummer. Okay, nothing too fancy here. Just gonna try to avoid hitting this Black Knight. Go through the woods. And then at the enemy base. Now I think those legions do stand a real risk of hitting us. Which would be bad, because that's a lot of fights. Hopefully I can move fast enough to avoid that. No, we're gonna have to fight some of these guys. Shoot. That's alright. Max is just gonna crush them. Well, his witches are, specifically. Get a little power leveling in here, why not? Nope, didn't want to do that. Luckily it only takes one meteor strike to take them out at this point. I keep forgetting I need to mash A when the experience is popping up too, because you can make that dialogue go faster. Like right here. Yeah, you can speed that up if you mash A. I keep forgetting to do that. Nice, we can end this fight now. Now we hit him from a weird angle, unfortunately. It's gonna take a couple of attempts to get to him. Shoot, that's slow. Oh good, the crit kind of made up for that a little bit. Didn't lose too much time on that. Just a little bit. Never really understood this scene. The guy's a mercenary, and he's like, hey, do you guys want to hire us? And Max is like, no, mercenaries are gross. It's like, this is a war, come on. Be real. Okay, this map is short. And with the right movement, we can make it shorter by drawing out and avoiding some optional encounters. I want to go right about here, right about here. The main thing is that wizard standing in front of the base there. We don't need to fight him, so we're going to try to avoid fighting him. There's our first actual ogres that we're seeing in this run. That's what they look like in this game, and they're gone. Goodbye, ogres. Oh, thank you. I can open it myself. Thank you. Appreciate you. Ah, dang it. Fighting the wizard. We were supposed to try to avoid him. This is annoying. Yeah, so undead units are weird in this game, as you can see. They can kind of like come back as like a downgraded. Yeah, they can regenerate. Yeah. Skeletons and stuff. Weird shit. Ah, dang it. Alright, this is gonna be a bad split too. A lot of extra fights compared to my last attempt. That's okay. We can try to make up for it still. Okay, there they are. The big guy's an ogre, the ones in the back are goblins. Alright. That was a little bit of a slow fight, but could be worse. Still ended up having a good split. What did I do wrong there last time, I wonder? Got some cutscenes here. They're going to infuse Yumel with the Infernal Aura. They expect it to make him into, like, an ogre that they can control. But instead, he goes Super Saiyan. As it turns out, Yumel's bloodline is special. Not just because it's the royal bloodline. He is actually... what's the prophecy called? The Child of the Covenant. He is actually descended from the demigoddess Danica. So Amrius has twigged on to what the Knights of the Couch in this order are doing. They're seeking godlike power. They think that by summoning the demigoddess Danica, they can kind of like usurp her power. Amrius is onto it. He was trying to beat them to it. He failed. We're still trying to figure out what the heck's going on ourselves, so we're going to meet up with Mr. Churchman of the Eastern Orthodox Church. Okay, we want to go like right about here, here. Should be a quick and easy one. Nice. Let's heck him up. Alright, not too shabby. So this guy was double timing everyone. He's the one who ended up getting some of the church guard corrupted with the infernal aura. And he's ratting on all of the Holy Lotus Empire's plans to us to try to save his own skin, and it's gonna work because we get distracted here. I think it's just a little creeping away animation. The woman there, Europia the Astronite, is recruitable depending on choices you make and what alignment you've got. We do not have the right choices or alignment. Nope, scrolled right past it. Back to what was going on with Yumel going Super Saiyan. He managed to escape. luckily for us, there's not really anything we need to dodge here. We can just kind of beeline it right to the base. The way the enemy units move, they should all be out of our way by the time we get to them. There is a little RNG with how some of them move sometimes, but generally speaking, they tend to follow set paths until they get triggered by something like seeing one of our units or one of our cities or forts. I don't want to interrupt. Meteor, please. Nice. This guy's like, alright, we don't have Yumel, but we do know that this is where we can make some magic happen. So let's try to make some magic happen. Hi, Annie. You okay? Hi, Saul. How you feeling? I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, this guy was unable to do anything fancy here. A, because he's not doing it right. B, because he's not the right bloodline. So we're just gonna bonk him on the head and move on. So we're ready to write this whole thing off as a wild goose chase, but then... Yumo, what are you doing here? Well... Since his power has been awakened, he is aware of what he must do to attain power. Or further power, anyway. A little bit of his fancy special blood here. And he opens up a Chaos Gate. Now, Chaos Gates did actually play a role in March of the Black Queen. They were hidden areas on certain maps that, upon finding them, would open up hidden stages, optional stages. We end up using one in the Devil ending run of March of the Black Queen, which is how we get to where Golf the Demon is imprisoned to recruit him for that ending. Anyway, we got a lot of demons and other Netherworld residents coming out of the gate now. So now, not only do we have a rebellion on our hands that we're trying to run, but we've also got demons coming out of the gate. Saradin is going to give us a lore drop on Chaos Gates and on the legendary Ogre battle. Which is when... How far are we in the timeline? I forget. I want to say like hundreds of years ago? A bunch of demons invaded our world. And that was the Ogre battle, in summary. Oh, come on. Skip it. What are you doing? I was hitting the wrong button. skip the briefings, I usually mash start and B alternating, and I was not hitting B, I was hitting A, which just advances the dialogue. That was my bad. We should be able to outrun all these guys. Nice. Anyway, meanwhile, Destin and Gilbert from March of the Black Queen are going to fight some of these knights from the Holy Lotus Empire. Good old Gilbert. We never recruit him at any percent in March of the Black Queen. Takes too long. Nice. One shot the boss, love to see it. So really there's 3 different intrigues happening in this game. We got the Rebellion, of course. You've got the Holy Lotus Empire trying to usurp the power of the gods so that they can conquer the world. And you've got the demons all trying to break out of the Netherworld, come to the surface world, and cause another Ogre battle and win it this time. Of course the bad guys could just teleport away. Love that for them. Final chapter. So that weird, they're talking a little bit about someone named Zeta. That's that weird crone that awakened the power in Mary. Zeta is also apparently the one who told Lotus in the first place about how they can use the Chaos Gates to summon Danica and take her power. But really their main interest was just opening the Chaos Gates to let demons through. Why is Zeta with the king? Who knows? What's going on here? Big old cutscene. Prince Amrius has used the Infernal Aura to turn some of these Knights Templar against Baldwin. Because he's none too happy about Lotus coming in and taking over what he sees as his kingdom, given he's the Crown Prince. He's a little upset about it. This is when Richard and Baldwin realize for the first time that the Infernal Aura they've been messing with is maybe stronger than they realized. They didn't think that their Knights Templar would be able to be turned by it. Amrius is a little mistaken here. He thinks he has more control over the situation than he really does. We're gonna let him keep thinking that for now. The church is gonna stay behind to keep an eye on the Chaos Gate. And meanwhile, we got a war to go win still. We're going to deal with that so that we can free ourselves up to go deal with the demons. War first, demon second. There's been a bit of a time skip, so Magnus gets a portrait update. He looks a little more handsome now. We're going to try to do a little fancy footwork here, because there is a second unit sitting on top of the boss in the enemy fort, and we want to try to lure him out without having to fight him. We're going to see if we can pull that off. Like right about here, here, here. That might work. Magnus is going to have to fight some fools. Meteor Strike makes quick work of them, as expected. This guy's name is just Woody. By the end of the game, we're going to see some truly ridiculous damage numbers on some of these meteor strikes. Alright, let's find out if Ziegler is able to pull off the fancy footwork we want from him. Questionable. That's a no. Didn't quite pull it off. Dang. Luckily these guys are also strong enough now that they're one-shotting everyone, so that'll speed that up a little bit. It is a bummer though that we didn't get the skip there. We skipped one of them though. It looks like anyway. Oh, nope, we hit him too. Dang it. Brutal. We are so close, literally a pixel away from skipping at least one of those units. Solid one shot on the boss, love to see it. Yeah, having that extra combat wasn't ideal. Here's where Hugo tells us that there is a spy among us. We're not sure who, but spoiler alert, it's Zevik, the guy who was kind of a jerk earlier in the game. get to it. I think this is one of my favorite tracks in the game. We are gonna have to fight some of these Hawkmen. Jared. Ah, dang it. Didn't mean to hit the interrupts there. I'm doing that a lot. I gotta be more careful with that. I haven't seen any pixies yet in this game. There they go. Alright. Made it to the boss without getting the guard of his guard there. Very close to one-shotting him there. 209 out of 220. So at this point, Zevic's aware that the royal family has some power on their side. So he figured the best bet being free of the Holy Lotus Empire was by throwing back in with the royals. Now this is a cool stage. This is a fort level, so with some tricky maneuvering, we are going to avoid all of the enemies. Oh, dang it, come on. Wasn't mashing the right button again. We're going to try to fly over the walls rather than having to crash through the gates. We also have a time limit on this stage. It's not going to be an issue. Let's see. We want to go here, here. Now, you're not supposed to be able to just fly over the wall like this. But with in the right spots, with the right movement orders, the Hawkmen can. We really want to avoid these patrolling guards here. Okay, so we're going to do up here, and right on this side of this wall. We want to go like here, like that. Just like that, we bypass pretty much the entirety of the fort. Time to beat up Yumel's older brother. Now, Amrius is mistaken. He thinks that the Infernal Aura is like some sort of like royal power of his. We're gonna dissuade him of that notion vigorously. Just one-shot him twice in a row. Absolutely bonked. What a loser. One step closer to being done with the Civil War / rebellion. Nah, lore drop from Saradin here. What he found out through studying under Rashidi before Rashidi went full evil is that the creator, the progenitor they call him, basically capital G God in this setting, when he created humanity, he placed a seal upon them to limit their maximum power, basically, because he was afraid of them. Is it? Yeah, it's Blue Basilica next, that's right. The Infernal Aura is one method to remove that limiter, but it also makes you crazy with evil. These are Yumel's new friends. They're the Knights of Danica. They're pieces of the demigoddess Danica's power in more or less a human-ish, demon-ish form. And now they listen to Yumel. And they can just delete people. Now, unfortunately, there's going to be some battles in the next stage that we can't avoid, but this one we can. Dang it. I once again did not skip that properly. I'm just not paying attention, I'm mashing the wrong button. And now we kind of just hang out. Yeah, something about, like, the synthy effects on a lot of older Nintendo 64 soundtracks. Big fan. So what we're finding out here, a lot of the Central Division has more or less been consumed by the Infernal Aura themselves and are now just kind of rampaging. They're still generally following orders in the sense that they're pointing themselves at us. But yeah, things are not good. Bonk. Nice. I like how this guy's like, oh, all we know is rumors. Also, here's some deep lore about Danica that no one knew about until I delivered this to you. Long story short, Danica is basically Persephone from Greek myth. She was a fertility goddess. She went to the underworld where she was wed to whoever it is in the underworld there in this game, I forget. And as she was down there, she ended up, taking on a bit of an evil persona. So now she kind of like flip-flops between kind fertility goddess and death goddess. As we all do from time to time. Just some flashbacks to Magnus and Yumel growing up. Really drive home the emotional punch that these two are friends / maybe more. And it is tragic that they have to fight each other. And it really is. If it weren't for outside forces like the Holy Lotus Empire and Rashidi's long-running plots, none of this would have happened. Here we find out a lot of Magnus's guilt for not being able to help Yumel during that assassination attempt. Never mind the fact that he was a child at the time, is what led him to joining the military in the first place, so he could get stronger and protect his pal. Also, I was having that flashback during a briefing. So why not? So this stage is a little unique, because we actually have to clear out 2 bosses before the stage will end. The idea here being that, yeah, that big fort down there represents the capital city, Winea. We are marching on the capital to finish our rebellion and free the country. We are going to move like this. We are going to have to fight a lot of dudes at base, so Magnus is going to get some power leveling in from these legions marching on him. Meteor Strike should make quick work of these. Can I just hold A for this part? No, because I have to get that. Yeah. When they drop items, I have to press A to pick up the item. Yeah, there's some really interesting unit comps here that we're not getting to see in action because we're just immediately meteor striking them into the dirt. This one seems pretty bad. Like, upgraded Valkyrie plus 2 upgraded Griffins. I don't see what that's supposed to accomplish, to be honest. Dragon's pretty cool. The dragon is pretty cool. This wizard's name is just Scott. It's Scott. Say bye to Scott. Aha. Finally made it to one of the bosses. Yeah. So these paladins are guarding the bridges, effectively. Oh. The Templar jumps in front of them. I don't know if I've ever actually seen that before. Yeah, why am I in a weird angle? Weird. That's fine. We got him. This wizard's name is Andy. Goodbye, Andy. I like his little, like, bat gremlin guys he's got in that unit. And they're gone. Whoopsie doodles. Okay. I think our Raven can get to the boss before these guys get to me. Yes, nice, great. Perfect. Ooh, crit on the Swordmaster, love it. And with that, the way is clear to the capital of Winea. Zeta again. Okay. This could be another siege-ish one, like the one where we had 4, meaning that there will be a time limit, but again, I'm not going to worry about it, it's not going to affect us. The intent here is you're supposed to go through the castle gates and fight your way in. We're not going to do that. We're going to fly over the walls. Right about here. And then up here. Fun fact, you're not supposed to be able to fly over that last set of walls there. So that's why I had to use the menu to select the castle stronghold. Kind of like forces our cursor to go where we want it. And make it so that Zeliger here can fly over the wall that he's not supposed to fly over. In theory, that's how this will play out. It's gone wrong before. Let's see if it does this time. It's going wrong. He's just running it down mid. We don't want him to run it down mid because the encounters there are slow. What the heck, bro? What are you doing? There he goes. Royal Palace. This should work. Yep, there he goes. Yeah, normally it's not supposed to be able to fly over this wall, but for whatever reason, doing it that way through the menu lets him. Time to fight the king. Ooh, and we got him at a weird angle, so we can just bust at him. Bonk. I like how we gain alignment for killing the king, implying that he's evil. Or at least eviler than we are. Don't need the king anymore, so he's outie scouty. That's a real crunchy sound effect. I also like that his name has now changed to King Yumel the Chosen. He's no longer just Prince Yumel. Time to give him a little bonk. Here's the lore drop. Yumel is the descendant of Danica. He's got the power of a demigod flowing through him. Combined with the infernal aura that the Caligenus Order forced on him, it basically awakened his dormant powers. He's been trying to reawaken Danica to help him with fighting off the Holy Lotus Empire and restoring order to the kingdom. And now the bad guys don't need him anymore. Because he said he's no longer interested in resurrecting Danica, he just wants to use his power to help with the kingdom. So Zeta there was like, ah, screw you then, we don't need you. We just need the girl. So now we gotta go save the world. Or else demons are gonna overrun it. Fun. So they're on to their backup plan for resurrecting Danica at this point. They're going to use Mary instead of Yumel now. The Knights of the Caligenus Order aren't quite fully on board, though. They're going to try to threaten her into cooperating with them. I think it's going to be obvious how that plays out. Not well for them. That's not where we want to go. We want to go up here. We're going to try to bait out a unit on the enemy fort here, kind of wiggle around him a bit. Hopefully avoid an optional encounter. We'll see if we can pull it off. Okay, that unit's leaving. Nice. finish off Baldwin later, but we're gonna kill his friend Thamus here. Not too shabby. Richard is not sympathetic to the fact that Thamus fell in battle. Baldwin wants revenge. That was his friend. Alright. This one should be fairly straightforward. I just gotta do a little bit of repositioning after I get this to a certain point to make sure I don't have any unwanted encounters. We're gonna go like here. We should avoid these encounters here as long as we were quick enough, and we were. Great. And so now we can just redirect directly to the fort. And bonk. Unfortunately, he's still alive. He just teleports away. We'll deal with him next time. We got ourselves another castle/fort level, the last of them, thankfully, because these are real janky. We don't need no plan. We're just gonna do the same thing as before and jump over walls we're not supposed to be able to jump over. Okay, we want to go here, hop over the wall here, come up to here, out for encounters along the way. Dang, this guy's in the way. Unfortunately, I ended up aggroing them. A little bit of a time loss on that fight. And, dang it. Normally they do manage to go around that one at least. That's on me. I wasn't quick enough to react. Oh, 11 piece. That's a rare upgrade item. We don't need it, but if this was a normal playthrough, we'd be very happy to see that. If I remember correctly, that's one of the items you need for a princess. No. We're going to try to wiggle our way over here. And then to up here. Come on, wiggle. Dang it. My pathing is not good on this stage. Oh, that was a hefty strike. 1200. Oh my goodness. Big crit. Okay. And from here... Max has got to fight a guy named Bean. And we hop the fence. And just like that, we avoid the enemies in the courtyard. So, could have been worse. Yeah, unfortunately we did have some extra fights here that we didn't want that lost us time. Bummer. Richard cannot read a room here. The world's slowest stab, and he doesn't move out of the way or anything. Baldwin's tired of Richard's way of doing things. He wants it all for himself. Nasty. We are entering the end game here. Gonna be a lot of cutscenes, though. Zeta's got Mari under a little bit of a mind whammy. Plan on using her as fuel to resurrect Danica. Baldwin thinks that he'll be able to somehow control Danica's power for himself. Zeta's not worried about that happening. She just wants to set Danica free. Because that'll be good for the Netherworlders. She's like, go ahead, go and stab yourself. And Mari's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna stab myself. What are you, crazy? Here's the lore drop that all of this has been a plot. But, you know, we already know that. Mari's like, I'm not gonna be a puppet, screw you. Unfortunately, she then comes over here and accidentally does what they wanted her to do anyway. What? Whoa. Some ominous sparkles. And we're running into the thick of this to try to stop all this from happening. Not knowing that it's basically too late already. End briefing, yes please. Fly, ravens, fly. And you go here, here, here. That ought to do it. Brian. A demon named Brian. I guess Meteor Strike's like all the rest. I think we get to the boss before this demon gets to Magnus. Maybe not. Going slower than I thought. Drat. Close though. Absolutely ridiculous damage output at this point from these glitched and over-leveled witches. So you have Baldwin saying plans to resurrect Danica, kill her, take her power for himself. Even our ravens are like, I don't think that's gonna work out the way you think it will, bud. Here she is. She doesn't seem so bad, right? She looks chill. Zeta was a Gorgon all along. Fancy pantsy. Meanwhile, Mary's over here like, bring you all back to life. Give it back to me. Baldwin's like, screw you. Very rude, very mean. Mary did nothing wrong. Danica was in a good mood and was real chill until Baldwin showed up. And now she's mad. You wouldn't like her when she's mad. This is when she goes Goddess of the Netherworld mode. Because she's upset. For this game, these are some special effects. What you're seeing with the dialogue there is basically the two sides of her mind arguing within her, as well as a little bit of humor. Now we get to find out what the last boss is going to look like. Now, kind of like the Diablo fight in March of the Black Queen, those like Venus flytrap arms are separate parts of her that you can fight, and they have their own moves. It's not going to matter though, because we're too strong. We don't even get to hear the cool boss battle theme for her. Alas. Now, time does not end on congratulation there. Time ends on the end of this dialogue. Time. Phew, not a bad time actually. I'm happy with that. 3:27:22. Big improvement over my last run. Big improvement. Almost 26 minutes faster. Nice. Yeah. if I hadn't waffled so hard on the item duplication glitch, which thanks Kevin. I later realized the one that I was like freaking out over as you went to go get your food, Kevin. I realized that I had actually just read too far ahead in my notes, and I was freaking out over nothing. I didn't need to do the item duplication glitch just yet, so I was jumping the gun a bit. Anyway, here's the bad ending cutscene. Everyone's like, Magnus, you're just as bad as a demon. You're a monster. You're a war criminal. You who walk with the darkness. It's like, we're not letting you hang out in the kingdom that you helped save. You're a bad dude. We don't trust you. Everyone thinks that the infernal aura is powering Magnus, but he's actually just really strong, and we've been really ruthless in how we've done things. Phew. Yeah, if I hadn't freaked out over that item duplication glitch, could have been a couple minutes faster even. Lost a solid couple of minutes going like, oh no, what did I do wrong? How do I recover? Didn't need to recover, I just needed to finish that level and then do the glitch. So silly of me, but you know, small mistakes I can always clean up on future runs if I do any. Now, continuing the bad end of this, Sir Frederick, the guy who led the revolution, ends up dying in battle, and we are nowhere to be seen to help. The kingdom is destroyed, and no one even remembers who Magnus is. Sad ending. Now, in addition to this, there's also a neutral and a good ending. But as I also alluded to at the start of the stream, there's if we had not recruited Saradin earlier, we would be forced to play an extra stage here where we have to fight against all of the Zenobians. And that takes like an extra 10 minutes. That's like the true bad ending. Anyway, thank you all for hanging out. It was good chatting, good talking about the game, good running. I'm pretty happy with this time. I definitely have a lot I can still clean up. A lot of optimizations I can still make. The world record is like almost 25 minutes faster than this still. It recently dropped very significantly between the efforts of Fura Games and Chainzell. Fura kind of led the way on the Japanese version. Chainzell adapted Fura's techniques for the English version. The Japanese version is slightly faster overall, due to text screens going by faster. But yeah, this is a pretty good time overall for what's really only my like second complete run, start to finish in one sitting. Pretty happy with it. I am going to cut the stream off, figure out how to save the VOD because I forgot to record this locally on OBS, and get this up on my YouTube, I guess, for safekeeping. Thanks again. Enjoy your World of Warcraft session, Kevin and Steve. Bye.